coming up tonight on the news at 6. The Helena Public Schools Board is meeting right now to discuss having students attend in-person classes more days each week. Plus, what you need to know to get your taxes done and where you can get them done for free here in Helena.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 6.
Good evening. Welcome to the News at 6. I'm Marian Davidson. Thanks for joining us. Well, new tonight at 6, the Helena Public Schools Board is meeting tonight to discuss the possibility of phasing up to have students in in-person classes more days each week. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian has the details.
Helena School Board trustees have a potential action item on their Tuesday agenda, considering possible options for school phasing. Since the start of the school year, Helena Public Schools have been in Phase 1, with students getting in-person instruction 2 days a week and online instruction the other 3. On Tuesday, Superintendent Tyler Ream will give trustees an overview of a newly revised plan for Phase 2. According to a draft plan attached to the agenda, that would mean students back on campus 4 days a week, with Wednesdays still online. The plan says that digital day is still needed so teachers can meet the needs of students who are remaining in full-time remote classes through the Digital Learning Initiative. Ream will discuss possible protocols for phasing up and give a recommendation to the board. It will be up to trustees whether to take any action. Trustees will have to consider a number of issues if they decide to make a change. Families and educators have agreed remote learning hasn't served all students well, but having most students back on campus at the same time will make it harder to do some of the social distancing that they've been doing so far this year. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
And we'll have full coverage of the meeting and any decisions they make tonight on the News at 10. Now looking at the state's COVID-19 situation, Montana reported just over 300 additional COVID-19 cases today, while active cases continue to fall. Right now, there are just under 3,100 active cases, and to put that number in perspective, that is less than a fifth of the peak active case numbers from November. 102 people are currently hospitalized with the virus here in Montana, and 2 additional deaths have been reported today, one of them in Lewis and Clark County. That brings the statewide death total to 1,331. MTN uses a combination of state and local data to report COVID-19 cases and deaths in the state. And if you got your first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine at the drive-through clinic at the fairgrounds on January 19th or 20th, you'll want to listen up. That's because of extreme weather, anyone scheduled to get their second Pfizer dose this Thursday and Friday has to go to the fairgrounds instead of Carroll College. All future second dose clinics will be held at Nelson Stadium at Carroll College. Again, this change only applies to people who got their first dose of the Pfizer vaccine on January 19th or 20th at drive-through clinics. Now, please bring your vaccination record card. This card will be checked at the gate and will serve as your ticket for your second dose. All right, now it's time for First Weather with Andy Curtis, filling in for Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grabnitz.
Good evening, Marian. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're staying warm because that's a hard thing to do these days with temperatures like this across the state. The wind chill right now has us at 40 below zero in Havre, 20 in Cut Bank, 15 and 14 in Great Falls and Helena. It's below zero pretty much everywhere in our great state tonight, except out to the west, 10, 11, and 8 in Kalispell, Butte, and Missoula. So pretty nice temperatures over there on that side of the divide. But temperatures, even in those areas, will drop as we get farther into tonight. It's going to be another cold one across the state, another cold morning. And the next couple of days are also going to be very cold, below zero temperatures, all the way up until Saturday, Sunday, depending on where you are. And we do actually have a little bit of a warm-up in our future. We also have a little bit more snow in our future over the next couple of days. Expect a few flurries like we've been seeing, at least around the Helena area. Temperatures, like I just mentioned, are going to get colder and stay there. That is until the weekend. More accurately, the day after the weekend. I'll tell you more about that coming up in the full forecast.
Tens of thousands of Montanans filed for unemployment during the pandemic. MTN's John Riley has the latest on what those people need to know when filing their taxes and the free tax help available in Helena.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, More Montanans than ever before received unemployment benefits. Last week, the state of Montana sent those that received unemployment documents they'll need for filing their taxes this year.
UR benefits are considered regular income, and that means that they're subject to federal income tax. So that includes benefits, received under the regular UI program, and also those special unemployment compensations that were authorized under the CARES Act, and also the recently passed Continued Assistance for Unemployed Workers Act of 2020. But it's important to note that in Montana, UI benefits are exempt from state income tax.
There is still free tax help available for those that need it in Helena, although the number of in-person help has been greatly reduced because of the pandemic. Good Samaritan Ministries is offering free tax help Mondays and Thursdays for walk-ins from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. The East Helena United Methodist Church will also be offering free tax help on February 10th, 24th, and March 24th from 10 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. Tax forms are also available at the Lewis and Clark Library, although they will not be holding any clinics this year. Online services that will file both federal and state taxes for free include My Free Taxes, Free Tax USA, and Credit Karma. For those without internet at home, public Wi-Fi can be accessed from the parking lots of any of the Lewis and Clark Library locations. Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen and 13 other state attorneys general have sent a letter to President Joe Biden urging him to reconsider a decision to revoke a permit authorizing the construction of the Keystone XL pipeline. About 285 miles of the pipeline would run through Montana, crossing through 6 Montana counties. Now, in the letter to the president, Knudsen and the other attorneys general said the canceling of the permit will cost jobs and increase America's reliance on foreign oil. Knudsen said local governments, businesses, and utilities made significant investments in preparation for the pipeline's construction, and that Montana will lose nearly $60 million in annual tax revenue, and that the coalition is exploring their legal options. The city of Helena is among a group of 4 Montana local governments pledging to work together to pursue a green tariff to meet their clean energy goals. According to a news release, a green tariff is a tool allowing customers of regulated utilities to buy power from newly developed renewable energy sources through a special rate. The agreement between the city of Helena, the county and city of Missoula, and the city of Bozeman allows them to jointly hire a specialist who will work with Northwestern Energy on developing the tariff. The 4 local governments have committed to using 100% clean energy by 2030. And still ahead on the news at 6, why 3 bills targeting the missing and murdered Indigenous persons crisis in Montana are so important.
Leader, you're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the News at 6. Thanks for spending some time with us this evening. During the 2021 legislative session, there are 3 bills aimed at helping address the crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous people in Montana. MTN's Jordan Johnson spoke with a councilwoman from the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes about why these bills are so important.
3 legislative bills, all created for the Montana Missing Indigenous Persons Task Force to continue educating tribal communities on the MMIP crisis, have made their way to respective Senate committees for consideration.
To try to develop a system where that works well for everybody. It makes law enforcement's job easier. It puts the family at ease because they're getting what they need. They're getting their questions answered. And so I feel like it's just really important, not only for CSKT, but just across the board, too.
House Bill 98 would extend current grants for tribal communities, while 35 and 36 propose extending the task force's term limits and offer additional grant money. CSKT Tribal Councilwoman Ellie Bundy says that these bills need to be pushed through the Senate committees in order to continue educating those in need about the crisis and to offer more financial assistance as soon as possible.
People need to be trained. They need to know about being trauma informed, and there's just so many things, and we don't have that training, so that's where this other piece could come in.
Bundy also says that just having bills written into law is not enough.
We need to keep those faces behind these stories whenever possible. We need to say their names whenever possible and humanize it. You know, we can't forget that these are young girls who had hopes and dreams.
Bundy is hopeful for the future of tribal communities impacted by the crisis should these bills become law. In Kalispell, Jordan Johnson, MTN News.
All right, Andy, so I noticed you put up wind chill numbers, which is very on brand for you.
I'm just giving the people what they want. They've come to expect something from me, and that's me talking about
Wind?
strong winds. So here we are, giving you what you want. And tune back in tonight at 10 o'clock, and we'll talk about wind, cold temperatures, and I don't know, maybe some snow. I know for sure we're going to talk about icy road conditions and sub-freezing temperatures, though, coming up next. Welcome back, everybody. Andy Curtis filling in for Curtis Grevenens tonight. We're going to start things off with a semi-live look. That's a joke there because of the semi. Hold for applause. Hold for applause. Cold conditions and snowy weather across the state tonight, meaning that these roads aren't the best, especially up over Mac Pass there. So do like they're doing right there, and if you are driving anywhere tonight, give yourself plenty of space with the car in front of you, because there's a good chance you could be sliding. Even in Helena today, I saw a couple people sliding in town. So it's only going to get worse from here on out, folks. Taking a live look at the capital city, 4 degrees below zero. Now, if you were watching at 5 o'clock, it felt like 4 below. That's changed a little bit because of the wind. We almost had no wind to speak of at around 5. Well, that's picked up. We're at 5 miles per hour right now. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, especially we've been dealing with a lot of wind here over the past couple of months, but just 5 miles per hour could make a pretty big difference in what it feels like. So it feels like 15 below rather in the capital city at the moment. Up in Great Falls, that wind's picking up there as well, just a little bit, but a little bit is enough. 19 below is what it is on the thermometer, but feels like 14 below. One of those rare instances where it feels just a little bit warmer, but really warm doesn't exist out here anymore with temperatures across the state. 20 below in Havre, 20 below in Cut Bank, Lewistown, 17 below, and even the warm spots, 10 and 17 degrees. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. It's a cold night, and it's going to be a cold rest of the week right into the weekend, but we do have a little bit of a warm-up coming up after the weekend, and I'll show you that just in a few seconds here. Right now, looking at the map, pretty calm, not too much going on in the Department of Snow. We got some over there in Missoula, more in the higher elevations, and we can expect to see some snow flurries, and really just flurries over the next couple of days. So very similar to what we were seeing this morning and yesterday. So there will be some snow, but not a blizzard or anything like that that should accumulate much on the ground, just basically kind of up in the sky, flurries. Just the very definition of a flurry is what we'll see over the next couple of days. And here's what I'm talking about. Wednesday and into Thursday, that's when it starts to pop up, and Helena, Great Falls, out over to Kalispell. And then as we head closer to the weekend, this will start to taper off. And actually, it's Saturday and Sunday, we're hoping we have a good amount of sunshine, which will do some wonders with the temperatures, but still not enough to relieve this very, very cold stretch that we're in. 7-day forecast in Great Falls, 13 below for the high tomorrow, 15 below for the high on Thursday, and 11 below for the high on Friday. And again, scattered showers can be expected on and off each day, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Heading into the weekend, though, here's what I was just alluding to. It's going to be pretty sunny, which will be a nice change, but temperatures still cold. On the rise, of course, 3 below for the high on Saturday and 8 degrees on Sunday before we hit that big warm-up, and 21 degrees on Monday for the expected high, and Tuesday, 19 degrees. So it's one of those rare instances where we're actually looking forward to the end of the weekend. Sort of, I guess. Maybe not so much. But still, temperature-wise, we'll see that warm up in Helena. Very cold over the next couple of days, just like everywhere else. Expect some scattered snow showers heading into the weekend. A little less sunshine, but temperatures warmer, 2 and 14. And then Monday, 24 degrees and a good amount of sunshine.
All right, thanks, Andy. Coming up, how the game-changing development that helped speed up the process of making the COVID-19 vaccine could impact other diseases that don't have a cure.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the News at 6. mRNA has been a game changer for the development of a COVID-19 vaccine. Dan Grossman looks at the implications of a vaccine that researchers say can tell our bodies to encode, well, virtually anything.
It's really fun to be part of this development.
No matter how hard he might try, it is difficult for Sven Evan Borgos to contain his excitement.
That is indeed the case.
As a researcher at one of Northern Europe's largest independent research institutes, the possibilities mRNA pose to all sorts of diseases have left him feeling hopeful. One might even say giddy.
The basic principle of mRNA is that when you deliver this code, you actually instruct the body to make its own medicine. And that, I guess, is part of why it's so fascinating.
Most of us have heard about mRNA by now, how it delivers codes to your body in small fat cells, telling it what to produce. With COVID, it's that spike protein, so it knows how to defend against it. But in theory, mRNA can tell your body to produce nearly any protein, which makes its potential massive.
There are certain things that we could never do before without being able to use DNA or mRNA to put new proteins into cells.
Bruce Zetter is the head researcher at Boston Children's Hospital and a professor of cancer biology at Harvard Medical School. He says mRNA isn't a silver bullet, but it is a monumental step in accelerating cancer research.
Let's say we had a cancer cell, or cancer in someone's body, and we knew it made a particular protein that normal cells don't usually make. I'm going to call it cancer protein 1. So we have CP1, and now what I would do is I'd get mRNA to specify CP1. I'd inject it into the muscle in the arm, and those cells in the muscle would make CP1, and they'd stimulate my immune system to fight any cell that had that protein.
But it's not just cancer. mRNA could tell the body to produce proteins to make ligaments, helping patients recovering from a torn ACL. It could also help autoimmune disorders like hemophilia, as it instructs the body to produce a protein that allows blood to clot properly. Just a few weeks ago, researchers in Germany injected mice with mRNA that reduced MS activity. Currently, there is no cure for the disease.
It's almost like you could treat virtually any disease with it, because almost all diseases in your body has some kind of connection to a protein of some kind.
Researchers say we are still years away from any type of vaccines for these diseases. But when you consider the implications, Sven's hopeful excitement is more than understandable.
It's really a revolution in vaccine technology.
I'm Dan Grossman reporting.
And another interesting health story for you, grapes could help protect the skin from sunburn. Researchers at the University of Alabama at Birmingham found that eating a little more than 2 cups of grapes a day can protect the skin by up to 75%. Now, for the study, researchers gave participants 2 1/4 cups of grape powder every day for 2 weeks. Biopsies showed fewer dead skin cells and less inflammation. They say the results do not mean people should eat more grapes instead of using sunscreen, though. And we'll wrap things up here on the News at 6 when we come back.
News Leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back, everyone. So yesterday was the very poorly scheduled National Kite Day. Today is the much easier to celebrate National Pizza Day. So for centuries, pizza was primarily a dish enjoyed in Italy. But in the early 20th century, the first American-style pizza shops popped up in New York and New Jersey, selling what they called tomato pies, which doesn't sound very appetizing. But pizza truly became part of American culture after World War II, as U.S. soldiers stationed in Italy developed quite the taste for it. So just how popular is pizza? Well, according to the National Association of Pizza Operators, about 3 billion pizzas are sold in the U.S. each year. Yes, that is a 3 followed by 9 zeros. And the American pizza community says there are 34 million different ways to order a pizza pie, depending on size, cheese, crust, sauce, and toppings.
Finishing things up, with a quick look at the 7-day forecast for Helena. 1 below 0 for the high tomorrow, 11 below 0 for the high on Thursday, Friday 8 below 0, and we got a good expected chance of some scattered snow showers each of those days. But this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, starts the warm-up, and Monday we are back on the positive side of things with some sun.
All right, well, that does it for the news at 6. I'm hungry now. I'm sure you're hungry now. Go get some pizza, and we'll see you back here tonight at 10. Have a good evening.